episode 78 of Piv's NXT Point of View podcast. My name is Bill Pivots. So this week was a much better episode than last week. I'll discuss that as we go throughout the show. But yeah, it was a big relief. We got some of the big name guys back on the show. Some stuff starting to build with some secondary storylines. We got some follow-up to the NXT title situation. There was just a lot of wheels turning, which made for a much better episode than last week. The show kicked off with TM61 versus Tony Nese and Avari. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I'm happy to see these Cruiserweight Classic guys on the show. It just gives them more exposure to the fans if they do get signed. And it just gives them more experience within the WWE system if they do come back later on for a tryout or what have you. Nese, in particular, I'm happy that he's here. He had a great match against Brian Kendrick, I think, in the second round. But yeah, he's a physical guy. I'm surprised he's listed as a Cruiserweight, but he's got a good look. So I hope they can keep him around. The match kicked off with Shane Thorne and Tony Nese. They traded offensive moves early. Nese and Daivari then beat down Miller in their corner. Nese dove onto Miller and Daivari from the outside. Thorne then landed his own dive. At this point, my network just kept freezing and skipping, so I did miss some sequences throughout the match. At this point, the Cruiserweight Classic guys, they were heelish throughout the match. Nese hung Shane Thorne over the rope and landed a running knee as we went to the first commercial break. Miller got the hot tag after the break. He took out both Nese and Daivari. TM61 did hit a clothesline, hooking sweep combo. Nese and Daivari came back with a super kick, sit out, slam, and a frog splash combination of their own for a near fall. TM61 then ended the match as they hit Thunder Valley to get the win. Decent match. Wasn't overly excited with either team. I did like the teamwork that Nese and Daivari, two people who I'm assuming never teamed before, they shown. I like their super kick, slam, the frog splash combination that they had. TM61, for a team that's supposed to be gunning for the tag team titles, they did a lot of selling for Nese and Daivari, which I'm not a fan of. They're good. I'm not taking that away from them. I could see why WWE signed them, but their characters are non-existent. They're just two guys. There's really nothing about their look that stands out. They're good in the ring, but that's about it, and I don't want to say bored, but I'm kind of just meh about them until they start doing something about them. I can deal without them at this point. I'd rather see more of Nese in particular and Daivari on NXT. They definitely have a lot of room for these guys, considering all the call-ups that they have. So bringing in some of these Cruiserweight Classic guys will liven up the roster, because I know some of the Cruiserweight Classic guys are going to Raw for the Cruiserweight division, so that kind of leaves a gap as well for some new talent to be introduced on NXT. We then got a sit-down interview with Tom Phillips and Asuka. They were actually sitting side by side, which is weird, not in front of each other, but I guess they had a face to camera, and their necks are probably killing them. Asuka said the Brooklyn crowd was crazy, and she was excited. She respects Bayley, who she called the heart of NXT. She said that Bayley fought hard, but Asuka fought harder. And she said that some of the women that were called up were saved because they don't have to face her anymore. I like that a lot. Phillips then brought up Nakamura winning the title and her fellow countrymen. She said that she won the women's title for her and her country, and then she addressed her fans as she spoke Japanese. And then Tom Phillips asked if anyone could step up to face Asuka. She then said that no one's ready to face her. Great sit-down interview, probably her best promo to date, even though it was kind of question-answer type thing. She's confident, doesn't come off as fake or contrived. She tells it like it is, and no one's going to take that title from her. And she is right when she says no one in the division is ready to take her on from a talent standpoint or even a storyline standpoint. They haven't built anyone up to be the next challenger for Asuka, so I think the next TakeOver special is going to be in November when it's the day before Survivor Series. So hopefully by then they can get Ember Moon up to snuff to take on Asuka, but I don't know if they want to blow through that matchup that early, Ember Moon and Asuka, because that's going to be one hell of a match between these two. Speaking of Ember Moon, she was shown standing outside preparing for her match later on, and there was a Connor's Cure video package, and these things are going to bring out a lot of tears. If you don't get sad by the ASPCA commercials, you're going to definitely cry with these. Even, last year or 2 years ago when they inducted him into the Hall of Fame and the Warrior Award and all that stuff, yeah, it still brings back a lot of emotion. Second match, Ember Moon versus Leah Vaughn. And Vaughn looks like a knockoff Brie Olsen. Big boobs, blonde hair, no personality. This is my first time seeing Ember Moon actually on TV. As you guys know, I was there live in Brooklyn. I do like your theme song. I really didn't get a good chance to hear it at the arena, but hearing it on TV, it fits her character a lot. Ember hit a springboard crossbody. She landed a loud kick to the gut. Leah got some offense, but not much. She continued with a flipping clothesline, and then she won with her twisting stunner off the top rope. Obvious squash match. They're going to continue to build up Ember Moon, and it's going to be mostly one-sided matches until they get to her match versus Asuka. As far as the only negative thing I could say about this is that Vaughn was waiting for Ember Moon to hit her finisher for what seemed like a long time. She was just bent over, just waiting for her to jump off the rope. Realistically, Vaughn could have moved out of the way and countered, but obviously they're setting up for the finisher. That's the only thing that I took away from the match. Other than that, Ember Moon continues to impress me. She's very athletic, physical as well, and that finisher, I'm still amazed by it. No Way Jose was asked about Bobby Roode. He said that Roode disrespected him, and he's going to teach him a lesson. And then we saw Tommaso Ciampa. He was working with a trainer as Johnny Gargano approached him. Johnny said that if Ciampa's cleared, they'll have a match at the Cruiserweight Classic finale. But Ciampa was more focused on the revival. Gargano was trying to keep him level-headed, saying take it one step at a time. First the Cruiserweight Classic, and then we can go after the revival. So it's good to see that these two are still with NXT. I know they're going to be part of the Cruiserweight division on Raw, but hopefully there's going to be some back and forth between NXT and Raw. Third match, Austin Aries versus Andrade Cien Amos. Surprisingly, no top hat or suspenders for Amos, just his tights and a t-shirt. Aries came out after the wrestle around that they had at the beginning. Amos fired back with a running hurricanrana and a quick pin. Aries sent Amos into the ropes, but he did his little pose in the between the ropes. He then hit a corkscrew plancha to the outside. Aries came back and pushed Amos off the top rope, and that was their commercial break. Aries was still in control. He landed a diving elbow to Amos's back. Cien went up for a double knees, but Aries caught him with the dropkick as soon as he turned around in the corner. Amos got a near fall after his own moonsault. He then countered the elbow with a big boot. He went for the running knees again, but Aries rolled away. He was on the apron, and Amos leapt up, went for a springboard hurricanrana, but Aries blocked it, hit a powerbomb, and then locked in last chancery to get the win. Great match. Probably one of my favorite Amos matches that he's had. I like the counters that they had. They went back and forth. I actually thought Amos was going to hit the double knees from the rope when he did the springboard, but the powerbomb counter was awesome. Like I said in my TakeOver review, Aries can lock in that submission from pretty much any position that he's in. It's a great submission. He hit the powerbomb, quickly flipped over, and locked in the submission. The only thing that I'm questioning is that Amos loses again. He lost to Bobby Roode, and now he lost to Aries. For someone that they made a big deal signing from Mexico, they're really not doing much with him. I don't know if a repackaging is in store or a heel turn, or whatever the case is. It's just weird to see him lose two matches pretty much in a row. It looks like Austin Aries and Itami is going to be their feud. Bobby Roode and Jose is just beginning, so he's kind of in limbo right now. So we'll see where he goes from this, but it doesn't look good right now. Samoa Joe was then shown walking backstage. Graves said he's going to be sitting at ringside for the Nakamura match. They announced that No Way Jose and Bobby Roode will take place next week, which then led into our main event of Shinsuke Nakamura versus Steve Cutler. Storyline aside, this probably is a cool moment for Steve Cutler getting in the ring with the NXT champion and getting in the ring with Shinsuke Nakamura, a man of his stature and popularity, which was probably a cool moment on the inside. I know I would be freaking out. Joe was sitting with Corey Graves and Tom Phillips at commentary. During Nakamura's entrance, they kind of panned over to him a couple times, and he just looked angry and pissed. But throughout it, he was actually putting Nakamura over, saying he was the better man, he's dangerous, you really don't know what to expect. Early in the match, there was a chant of take the count out towards Steve Cutler, so that was pretty funny. Nakamura was toying with him early. He landed the running knees in the corner and the reverse exploder suplex before winning with the Kinshasa. As he was celebrating his victory, Samoa Joe left commentary and walked away, pissed off. But overall, I mean, it was just another squash match. Really nothing to get excited about. Steve Cutler got some offense in, but again, it was the Nakamura show right here. I'm saying this facetiously, but I think the entrance went longer than his match. That's how quick that match was over. Like I said at the beginning, this was a better episode than last week. We got some of the big name guys. Nakamura had a match. Ember Moon was back. Austin Aries. We're getting Bobby Roode and No Way Jose next week, which should be a pretty good match. But some of the other matches, the TM61 Nice Davari match, I really didn't care for. Amos and Austin Aries were probably my match of the night. There was a lot of action there, a lot of cool high spots, and the counters, like I said, going into the submission was a cool finish. Alright guys, that's the end of this episode. If you want, follow me on Twitter at bpiv_sports. Rate, review the show on iTunes, Podbean, like it on YouTube, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. And I'll be back next week with episode 79. Peace.